The long, muddy road of the commonplace has never fettered the human heart. The heart is always full of desire to fly sky high, to raise itself from the earth. Man longs to possess wings and to fly higher and higher, above the clouds, to the heavenly heights, higher and higher, to remote galaxies. Karel Zeman started out on this journey of eternal desire to give it life on the screen by his imagination. This is his world, the world of his fantasy and imagination, the world of a never-ending search and a kind humor. Here it is that Karel Zeman feels at home. This is his kingdom. Under his hands, the incredible becomes real. The dusty props of Zeman's films have played out their parts, and now wait patiently for the artist to breathe new life into them. This little wooden figure, Mr. Nifty, who was born at the very start of Zeman's career, is quietly waiting too. At that time, Zeman was trying to find new ways of movement. This is a brief example of how it's done. The movement is made up of phases, just like words are made up of letters. But art begins at the point where movement makes the puppet into an actor. A simple movement is enough. For instance, a step. This is how jauntily Mr. Nifty walked about. His strutting was infectious. Look at this pelican from another of Zeman's films. Karel Zeman loves the rich world of the cinema. It makes it possible for him to fly from a glass pearl to a world of primeval monsters, and to spend an adventurous holiday among prehistoric dinosaurs. Karel Zeman has managed to portray the face of a non-existent world as the backdrop of an enthralling adventure story for all generations of boys. Climbing onto the back of a sleeping dinosaur, that calls for a lot of pluck and some good nerves. Even though sometimes it's done like this. Yes, sometimes, but it's never the same twice. It's always different and always new. All the magic and the special effects are only a way of creating a poetic film, a work of art. hooves of real horses thudding in dreamlike, fantastic surroundings. The ringing of painted horses' hooves in Zeman's fairy tales is a different sound. This is another proof of Zeman's inexhaustible invention and his variety of genres. His heart remains young, the heart of a man who loves life, the impatient heart of a poet who gives joy and laughter to children all over the world.
Charles Reich said it in The Greening of America. For most of us, life is confined to time off. But our culture has been reduced to the grossly commercial. Our life activities have become plastic, vicarious, and false to our genuine needs. We seem to live without any real feeling for our own limited presence. Author-philosopher Alan Watts.
The present is the real. The past trails away from it, like echoes, like the wake of a ship, like the tail of a comet. And so we come to the astonishing realization that the past does not cause the present, but the other way around. We are living in an eternal now.
1, 2, 3.
There may be no loss harder to take in our society than loss of self. These people are trying to rediscover themselves through yoga. It's part of the new Asian invasion that promises spirituality, inner consciousness, and as a bonus, better buttocks. The invasion began in the 60s, when the Beatles went to India for meditation with the Maharishi. The young then turned on to everything that seemed to connect them to that magical mystery tour. Even surfing at Malibu became Tai Chi, Chinese meditation in motion on water. But for the really dedicated, it takes 10 years to come up to form. Tai Chi master Al Wang.
Tai Chi is a discipline for me to empty myself to the sound, to my own body, to my own energy.
The idea of connecting with some universal energy flow can be irresistible when there is an almost universal feeling of powerlessness, a sense that we live in a society that no one created and no one wants. Probably the most influential guru in selling Eastern intuition to the West, hero of the young, at home on his ferry boat in San Francisco Bay, author and philosopher Alan Watts.
Ever since I was a little boy, I've always been fascinated by the fact that anything exists at all. I suppose that's what makes a philosopher. For as Aristotle said, all philosophy begins with wonder.
The basic Tai Chi form is making the circle, never stopping, losing your sense of separateness, rising above your ego. With that out of the way, the stream of experience can just flow, unobstructed. That's Tao, the way of nature, the basis of meditation. Some of the coming generation have already rejected the traditional answers in favor of Asian religions, which through doctrines of reincarnation have elevated all living things to include them as possible future human souls in some other lifetime. Writer Colin Wilson says that by the year 2000, the materialism of our own society would be seen as one of the most preposterous manifestations of the human spirit.
Yoga is a discipline. It's a discipline of body and mind. You learn how to slow down the breathing. You learn how to get attuned to the blood circulation. You even learn how to slow down the beats of the heart.
Harvard researchers have now confirmed what has long been suspected, that actual physiological changes may occur in meditation. Yoga may even be helpful in dealing with the problems of alcoholism and drug addiction. Some advocates even make the radical claim that yoga is the perfectly safe cure for all mental and physical illness.
Just surrender.
In our high consumption society, we use 10 times as much physical energy per capita as the rest of the world. And it's now getting to be an affliction in the affluent East as well as the West. Can we use the richness that our technology has given us to get out from under, to come up to a more highly developed sense of self? Can we get out of our individual ego capsules? Can we learn to move in the classic open circle of universal energy flow that Tai Chi says connects all of us with the cosmos? The most enforced taboo of all is the taboo against knowing who or what you are.